We've got another episode of Attack of the Karens, and in this edition of the show, one individual protester who had a sign that said Black Lives Matter was confronted with a Karen who didn't like that his poster had a curse word on it, so she did what any Karen in that situation would do. You call the police and you tattle.
Takes is one. All it takes is one. Thank you. God bless.
All this over a fucking sign. Now there are two police officers here. Can I?
That's okay. The only reason there's two is because for our safety, we don't know what's going on.
She is the one who approached me. I was standing here on the side.
Excuse me, but could you please not put that sign out because it's going to crank up the wrong people.
And
I don't want to be driving and have bullets shot at me because they're upset because you started it.
See all this dude, but unfortunately, he's allowed to stand here with a sign that says whatever he wants to say on it.
It's just upset because I don't want to get caught if they start rioting because of your sign.
I'm also upset because black and brown lives are at risk every single day in this country.
You know what,
Everybody's life at risk, so let's not.
That's right.
Thank you for both sides.
Right.
Both sides.
And we need to appreciate everything they do. Okay.
So it says Black Lives fucking matter.
Wow,
Okay.
F word too. I mean, come on, little kids are reading that.
I'm sorry if you're a snowflake and you can't handle.
That was golden, and really the best part was when he called her a snowflake, and I wish I could see the rest of that exchange because that was brilliant, and that guy is a patriot. And listen, here's the thing, and conservatives have to come to grips with this. You can't, on one hand, claim that the left is hypersensitive and they're snowflakes and SJWs, but continue to act like snowflakes and SJWs yourself. Now, maybe this woman is not a conservative. I don't know. I'm assuming she is, right? But based on her ignorance, I can only assume that she is politically aligned with someone like Donald Trump. But you can't keep acting like snowflakes. And even the free speech warriors who denounce SJWs at their loudest voices, from the rooftops of every building in America, even they act like SJWs. Tomi Lahren is the individual who popularized the word snowflake, but she gets offended when people peacefully protest during the national anthem to highlight police brutality. So, either you're going to denounce snowflakes or you're going to be one, but you can't simultaneously denounce snowflakes while acting like one. It doesn't work that way. Now, you can tell in that video that the cop was reluctant to admit that he had the right to hold up that sign with a curse word, but of course he does. And she was worried that that one person being there would cause a riot. Like, how fragile, how scared are you to think that one person with a sign that said Black Lives Matter would lead to a riot? It just shows how skewed your perception of reality is. Guess what? It's not Black Lives Matter who are the ones responsible for most of the domestic violence in the United States with regard to terrorist attacks. It's right-wingers, it's far-right individuals, the armed thugs who oftentimes show up as counter-protesters to intimidate peaceful protesters. It's them. It's not the Black Lives Matter protesters, and you can say, well, sure, there was rioting and looting that broke out in Minneapolis and some other states, but still, most of these protests that are now happening around the world are peaceful. So for you to say that, it just shows how fragile you are. And this is really the conservative worldview. They're afraid of everything. They're afraid of, undocumented immigrants. They were afraid of gay people. I'm sure that they still are, but I guess they've moved on to trans people now. They're always scared, and their fear is justification to hold the rest of society back, to keep marginalizing certain groups and deny them their civil rights. And we shouldn't stand for it. We shouldn't allow this, right? You're supposed to be the tough guys and gals. You're the one who probably touts your gun. I don't know much about this lady, so I'm kind of speculating and generalizing a lot here. But, just based on her reaction, I can't help but think that, someone with this level of reactionary views, how could they not be a Trump supporter? How could they not feel comfort when he fearmongers about, thugs, as he calls them? Someone like this probably takes comfort when she sees that the president tweeted, when the looting starts, the shooting starts, because she thinks, oh, great, because I'm not going to be shot. I'm not protesting. I don't care about Black lives. So this is great because it doesn't affect me. Okay, well, what if there's a Democrat in control and you feel as if he or she is being tyrannical? Don't you want the ability to freely express yourself and denounce that Democrat? Do we really want to set this standard to where protest is not allowed or frowned upon even? I mean, I'm sick of the ignorance. Now is the time where you've got to wake up and you've got to educate yourself and you've got to be introspective. Think about what you've been doing wrong. Think about the ways that as human beings, we're not perfect, but we can always improve. We can learn more and most importantly, learn from each other. Because I think that if we continue to isolate ourselves into these bubbles, then we're going to have reactions like this to where we think that someone who's holding up a sign that says Black Lives fucking matter is a literal threat. That all of a sudden there's going to be riots at her doorstep. I mean, this is ignorance. This is unnecessary ignorance, right? And I say this knowing that I need to do better at expanding my bubble because I've become so disgusted with conservatives that I can't even look conservative family members in my eye. That's how disgusted I am because of how extreme the Republican Party has become, right? So we all have to do better and we have to reflect and figure out a way that as a society, we're going to be able to coexist. Otherwise, society will collapse. And it's not going to be because of Black Lives Matter. It'll be because the government is going to capitalize on this polarization and crush people who it doesn't agree with or thinks is a threat, like we're seeing with Donald Trump. So I don't care what you feel when it comes to the left or whatnot. You might think we're snowflakes, but you should be respecting the right to protest. She should be appreciating the fact that that one individual is holding a sign because that's the hallmark of American democracy. Protesting, complaining, shitting on the government. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I just thought this was a feel-good video and his reaction, response, it was perfect.